Good morning and welcome to Cover 2 Cook. We're on episode 158. We're going to be talking about our key takeaways of college football Saturday and including talking about this Notre Dame game that was really fun to watch as a Notre Dame fan. And then we will talk about our key takeaways of the NFL Sunday, as we might be even talking about a Thursday night game and the Sunday morning game. We are recording earlier than usual, so we will give you a update on the evening games as well. And then we have to finish with Tim's best bets, as it sounds like he had a good little weekend, and he still got one for Monday in case you haven't heard of that one. So let's get it started.
Yeah, I was going to do a vertical jump there. Thank you, Socks.
Travel been to Indiana, and did Cover 2 Cook get you a good hotel?
Indiana? No, I'm in Louisiana. I'm here for Mardi Gras.
And I know that this might be hard, but I don't know how much you remember Friday night since we left you damn near when you fell asleep.
I got my belly full, man. I was like, I warm covers and warm. I was like, I could go to sleep right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jack Dorsey.
Final answer?
Yes. All right.
This is going to be a long fucking day.
Welcome back to Cover 2 Cook. I'm here with Anthony and Tim, and what an eventful weekend it was for college football. Let's dive right into it. Tim, what was your first college takeaway?
Oh, one thing I want to say is the Big Ten this weekend showed up. Big Ten. We had some really good games for the Big Ten. First one I'm going to talk about was the noon game, 11 o'clock game, Indiana and Penn State. If you didn't watch this, you watched one. You missed out on a great game. I think for Indiana, I think Mendoza is the real deal. I think after this game, I think he may have the inside track on the Heisman. That drive at the end of the game, after he was sacked on the first play, and they still got a chance to go down the field, that toe tap by Cooper, I'm going to tell you right now, Anthony, that was probably the best catch I've seen in 10, 15 years. Yeah. That toe tap was, it looked like he almost was trying to throw it out of the end zone. And that kid went up and grabbed it and still got his feet in. That was something to say. I couldn't believe it. I jumped out of my chair with, woo! What a hell of a catch. For Penn State, this is a game you had to win. This is a game you had them. You had them. You got down early and you fought back and took the lead, and you just couldn't hang on. Your running tackle was doing good with Singleton. He finally showed up. I think he's going to be a next level. I think he runs on Sundays. But it's just that, this game was there for them to have. And, you could have beat the number 2 team in the nation. You would have turned your season around. But here's the deal too, Anthony and Lisa. Do you think it was James Franklin was the problem? Or it's just the people that are there? Because he's gone now. He's all gone. People, he's all gone. And they still can't beat the top 5 team at home again. So this was a bad deal. For Indiana, also, too, one last thing. We're on a collision course for Indiana and Ohio State. I'm telling you this right now. They've got Purdue, and I think where else? They have Purdue and Wisconsin left, which Wisconsin had to bail out. They got to beat they beat Washington at home this week. But I think we're on a collision course, and that is, I think, going to be a good game. I still think the way Ohio State played this weekend, they're very good. But I think that would be a great Big Ten game, championship game.
Yeah, no, that Indiana game was intense. I think all of us were talking, and then my dad was talking to us too. Like, that was a wild ending to that game. And I know Anthony has some opinions about it too, but absolutely. I totally thought that throw was going out of bounds, and he just grabbed it, did a miracle toe tap, and got the touchdown. That was absolutely insane. But Anthony, why don't you take us into your thoughts about that game?
Yeah, this was a game where I thought Indiana kind of looked beatable. All year, we haven't seen Indiana look beatable. It's one of those things where it's like Indiana and Ohio State, man, they are the cream of the crop when it comes to Big Ten. Are they? Are they? They almost got beat by Penn State. Now, I get it was at Penn State, but Penn State's in shambles right now without a coach, things like this. I think, yes, Mendoza probably just locked up the Heisman. I truly do. I think Love should be right there in second because I think Love is a great runner-up. But when you are running man coverage, blitzing every down, and they're going down the field like with ease, why wouldn't you run zone? Switch it up. They knew exactly what was coming. And that's why when Mendoza caught that ball, he got rid of it quick because he knows they're coming. And he got hit on the play.
Yep.
And I get you're trying to make a sack, but you don't need them to hold to a field goal. You just need to keep them out of the end zone. So why not run zone coverage instead of man-on-man? Because you don't have the players that Indiana has for man-to-man coverage. I didn't understand that. I think when you watch that play again, in slow motion, you're like, you can see in his head, my right foot's going to be out of bounds. I got to get that left toe in. Now, that's in slow motion. He did that in the middle of the air and thinking, oh, okay. I will also give the roses to the umpire that was on the back line.
Yeah.
He did perfect. Saw him catch it, went to look at those feet. It was an amazing amazing thing by the referees. But I don't know if I'm a believer in Indiana. I don't. I understand that some games you just don't give your best game, but Penn State should not be a game that you get worried. I think it's sad for the Big Ten that we're going to find out who's for real in the Big Ten championship. What are you talking about? SEC is showing who's their contenders. Notre Dame is playing teams just like this, and they're not even in a conference. ACC is so who knows who's going to win in that conference. But the Big Ten, it's just two teams, and we'll talk about the next one, Oregon, where they're almost losing to the bottom half of their conference, and we're only going to find out how real they are until the championship game, which by that time, the college playoffs is kind of already predicted. I think that's the flaw for the Big Ten. If we want to have a conversation of who's the better conference, I think the SEC has ran away with it, where if Indiana and Oregon and all these teams just dominated them, I'd be like, okay, Big Ten might be for real. But I think the SEC is the best conference in college football right now.
Which is a little interesting because we started off the season being like, I don't know if the SEC has it. Last year they sure didn't. So it was like, is that going to be a repeat? I think they are definitely proving themselves that we're still the conference to be.
Yeah, SEC says, hold my beer. I'll show you.
Yeah. Well, and I just think when we're talking about college football playoffs, and we'll talk about a little bit more about it, like there might be 4 or 5 teams that come out of the SEC. Which is crazy to think about. And 4 of them are going to be at-large bids because only one could get in guaranteed with a conference championship. Right. So if you're talking about that, who gets dropped off? Oregon? Does Indiana get dropped off because of what they – you know what I mean? So ACC and all these other conferences, how do they all shake out? And I think that's what's sad is like Indiana's probably going to get in, but they just didn't play anyone all year. And Ohio State has not played – the strength of schedule is just crap. It's crap for them.
Yep.
Totally agree. Well, Anthony, why don't you take us into your first must-watch, which was another one of the Big Ten teams against. So go ahead.
Yeah, another Big Ten game, right? Oregon versus Iowa. And this game, right in the hands of Iowa to make the upset. I predicted them to win. I said it's at Iowa. It just felt different. It's that November game where Iowa kind of makes an upset. Oregon would kick a field goal with 3 seconds left to win 18-16. Iowa kept Dante Moore to a minimum in this game. Now, I think the rain had a little play into that as well, but that defense was solid. The question mark was Iowa's offense. Can Iowa's offense keep up with an Oregon offense? That 93-yard drive to take the lead before Oregon would go kick the field goal to win is what Iowa should be striving for as an offense going forward. They did it by running the ball. They did it by throwing the ball. The quarterback took off and ran to score the touchdown. They did everything perfectly on that drive. And that's like the little bit of an appetizer for what Oregon or Iowa should be. They just not. Like I said, the rain definitely played a game, but I think the field goal kicker for Oregon is the player of the game. He had 3 good field goals, one being right before half, and then one at the end of the game, all during heavy rain and bad wind and things like that as well. I just think this questions Oregon going forward. I don't know if they are that good. They don't have any quality wins because Penn State is not a quality win anymore. But if Dan Lanning is the coach for Oregon, there'll always be a tough out. That man shows so much emotion on the sideline that even in his post-game his questions and stuff, they asked him about it, and he said there was players coming up to him saying, "Coach, you got to breathe. You got to breathe." And that's showing how much love he has for Oregon, how much he loves the game. Just wouldn't be surprised if he might get picked out of the Big Ten and go into the SEC with all these open coaching jobs in the SEC right now.
That's a true point. That's a very true point. I even said last night, you coached me into the right answer. But I was like, if there was a Coach of the Year award, like I feel like it should go to him. But apparently that's in the Big Ten, maybe not for college football, or that's definitely in the NFL, but not necessarily in college football. But that was just my perspective. I will say from the Oregon jerseys, I was not too pleased with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when I go into these games, I'm expecting them to have like a sick jersey every week, and them having like the white jerseys, but then they had like the duck mascot on the shoulder pads. I don't know, just wasn't my favorite. They definitely had cooler ones, and that's what I'm here for. Tim, what was your thoughts on this game?
I mean, the when they tied it and then they went for two, and that kid caught it in the out of the end zone. He jumped. Why did you jump? Why didn't you try to and put your feet? He jumped, and he's this far away from being inbounds, and that's a totally different ball game. Because now they got to go for a touchdown instead of kick the field goal for the win.
Yep.
So that was a big deal. And you're talking about the conditions. Oregon's used to them kind of conditions.
Yeah.
Up in Eugene, it's rain. It rains all the time in Oregon. It's windy up there in Oregon all the time. I think that kid did an awesome job. But them elements are the same as what usually up in Oregon in September and October. So I mean, I thought that. I mean, he did awesome on the road. Iowa. Anytime you play at Iowa, it's a tough out. They have a good defense. I think they've got their quarterback. I don't know what year he's in, but he was throwing dimes down the field to get him to that lead. I mean, it was a good game. It was one of them games you thought, well, can they or can they? And they did. Iowa played them very tough. They deserved the 20th ranking that they got. I didn't know they were even. They're like 7-2 this year. I didn't even know they were that good. So.
Yeah. I mean, that is a part of their upper echelon of the Big Ten this year, and that's what I'm saying. That's Iowa right now. Like Iowa's that. I think the Big Ten's taken a step back this year.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Tim, why don't you take us into your second takeaway from Saturday?
I think this was an awesome game. Auburn and Vanderbilt. For Auburn, quarterback Daniels had a great day. 353. He had 89 yards on the ground. First two drives, he threw for 129 yards, which is more than he did the entire game last week against Kentucky. The defense gave up way too many big plays to Pavia, especially at the end. They just gave up way too many. No answer for Pavia, their defense. He had 377 yards passing. There was 9 plays of at least 15 yards a play. That's not going to cut in the SEC, I'm telling you that. And then they go in overtime, and they just shit the bed. For Vanderbilt, this is the best game Diego Pavia had, and so far this year, 300 yards throwing, 100 yards passing. But they started out too slow, down 14-3. You can't do that in the SEC, especially go up against Alabama and stuff like that. That will not cut it. I know they were coming off the bye, but they just look like Notre Dame does when they come off a bye sometimes.
Relax.
Majority.
Relax.
But they stuck around and they kept playing. So I still think. I think they're going to still possibly make the playoffs, but they could be a one and done kind of team. I just don't think they've got the defense to get it, and they can't start out slow. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that start was definitely nerve-wracking, and even Anthony was like, "Man, I think this is it." Well, Anthony, how did you feel like it turned around for them? Did they feel like they earned their spot yet?
Well, yeah, no. Oh, hold on. I don't think they've earned a spot. I don't think they'll be in the college playoffs, and if they are, I think this is an easy win for whoever's got to go against them. We were texting back and forth, and we said, "Is Hugh Freeze? Was he the problem there?" Right. Because they started out so fast, and it was all good, and it's like, well, maybe it wasn't he the problem, because what you needed at the end was a closer to end this game. Pavia, yes, I do love Pavia's comments after the game, being like, he has never lost to Auburn. And he's like, well, what is the motivation that's led to that? And he goes, well, maybe because I didn't get recruited by them. Great. That's a great thing. Awesome. Auburn sucks, okay? Auburn hasn't been good for a very long time, okay? Yeah. Looking back at this game, I think when you look at Vanderbilt, I think they should have lost this game. And if they would have lost this game, they definitely would be out of the whole college playoffs. I just think with now Texas on the run up and Oklahoma, I think is better than Vanderbilt. I think there's teams that are better in the SEC than what Vanderbilt is. I just think they have this high because of Pavia and being from Nashville and a team that hasn't been, recognized since Jay Cutler. Or no, he went to Vanderbilt, but still, you know what I mean?
Right.
Oh yeah, he went to Vanderbilt. Yeah, but
you're
still,
right, you're right.
Still, it's one of those things where, like, I just think there's a high that people want to ride that train. I don't think they're actually that good of a team. And, you just can't get close with Auburn. Like, they don't even have a coach, and the whole situation there, we just talked about that with your first game, where it shouldn't have been a close game, and it became a close game. That's more of a dictation of the team that should have won that. So.
Yeah, so you're saying just because they're a Cinderella story doesn't mean they deserve a shot. There's other teams that have been playing better all season that haven't had that spotlight, right?
Yeah, it's hard to be a Cinderella story in college football. It truly is. I mean, people will say Notre Dame was last year, but I thought they were good all year. Like, I just – basketball, you could see that in college basketball. College football, it's tough.
Okay. Well, Anthony, I know you don't have necessarily a second game you want to talk about, but you have a hot take about the ACC, so take it away.
Yeah, the ACC as a whole is it's a wild card. It's the wild card for this college football playoffs. Virginia was put as the first week of the college football playoffs, saying that they're going to be the ACC champions. That's who's going to come in, right? Oh, yeah, nope. They lost to Wake Forest this weekend. So then the team that I have been saying that will come out of the ACC, Louisville. That's all you got to do, boys. You just got to win. Nope, they lost to Cal in overtime. So now, what does the ACC look like? Well, Georgia Tech is in the driver's seat again, which was literally, until they lost last week, the team that was going to come up. But what does this do now? ACC is wide open for who can win this conference. You now have Pitt in the conversation. You have SMU in the conversation. You have Duke. You also have the Virginia and Louisville as well. And then, oh, wait, there's that team called Miami that's still winning and is around there. I will say this. If the college football playoffs committee watches Cover 2 Cook, only put one ACC team in this playoffs, okay? I understand these teams are just kind of beating up on each other, but they're so inconsistent. And if you put an inconsistent team in the college football playoffs, it is either going to work out or it's going to be a big old smacking for the team that they're playing against. I think when it comes down to it, I think the team that does get into the ACC is actually going to be Miami. I think Miami sneaks in there because I think Pitt loses next week to Notre Dame, which Notre Dame now, this will be another ranked opponent that they'll play, okay? Because shut up. And I think Pitt is up there. Duke is finding a way to win games, SMU, but Virginia Tech could make a run. I just don't think Haynes King is great, but not the special. I just think Miami's the best team coming out of the ACC.
Yeah, when you were mentioning this to me, it kind of seemed like, because they have to pick the championship out of the ACC, like they have to have one team, but there definitely seems like there's other teams deserving or had harder schedules that could have made it in, but that's just my hot take.
Yeah, and one last thing I'll say too is I just because they're winning games doesn't mean that they're quality enough to get in there.
Right.
They're losing games that they should be winning.
Right.
Every ACC team that they've lost, every ACC team that's lost has lost to people they shouldn't have lost to. It's not like they're playing these ranked competitions. They're playing non-ranked games and losing non-ranked games. That doesn't get you into the playoffs, I feel like.
Yeah. Tim, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal, too. I think they get one, and I think the ACC champion goes. I think that's it. I think there ain't enough. They have not had enough of the teams ranked. They've not beat enough ranked teams. Yeah. And they're getting, like you said, they're getting beat by unranked teams like Wake Forest. I mean, Wake Forest, it seems like every week they play everybody tough. Yeah. I think they play Georgia Tech tough. They've been playing some teams really tough. I think I agree with Miami. If Pitt wins against Notre Dame, that could be kind of scary because now you've got Pitt up there, which that is not a conference game, but still they're going to be a tough out.
Well, in every conference, every conference is waiting for Notre Dame to lose because then it opens up a spot. But if Notre Dame keeps winning, they're going to be in. But Pitt, this is your chance to say we deserve to be in the playoffs.
Yep.
Well, Anthony, you were saying the exact same thing yesterday. Everyone's hoping that Notre Dame loses yesterday. So why don't you take me into the recap of the Notre Dame game?
Yeah. No, God, I love this team. I love CJ Carr's arm. I love Love's legs. I love what they have this year. I feel like they are more of a complete team this year than they were last year. We were talking about Riley Leonard can run the ball and Love and all that. It's great. But the way CJ Carr can throw the ball, these 40-yard touchdowns and stuff like that, I get it. Everyone's going to say, it's Navy, it's blah, blah, blah. But Carr's making passes that I'm like, yes, because he's young. I do fear that we're going to lose Love, obviously, to the draft and things like that, while Carr's getting better. But just watch out for this team. CJ Carr had as many touchdowns as he did incompletions. 3. He had 3 incompletions in this game, 3 touchdowns. Love almost had another 100-yard game with 2 touchdowns. Now, I see it all over social media. The defense. The defense prepared to go against Blake Horvath
Yep.
okay. He was scratched an hour and a half before the game. So now the backup you have not prepared for all week. You do not know what you're getting out of him. He did have some bigger plays in this game, okay? But that's, again, you didn't prepare for this guy. That's a wrench throw in the play. But that defense did step up when it needed to step up in this game. These are the type of games Notre Dame needs to do to make it to the college playoffs. We talked about last week being like, hey, you guys can't put that on tape and think the college committee's going to do it. Oh, this week, it was good. It got to the point where the announcers were talking about how great the Navy coach and all they've done, because they've talked about Notre Dame all game before it. Final thing I'll say about this game is before the game started, I looked at Lisa and said, it's really bad of us not to go to a game this year. We should have went to a game. This would have been the game we should have went to. Thank God we didn't go, because that snow and sleet and all that crap, no thank you. That was a lot. It was nice to kind of watch from home, but big win for Notre Dame. I know it's Navy, but it was a one-loss Navy team, okay? It wasn't like they're 500. It was a one-loss team, but good win by Notre Dame for sure.
Yeah, the announcers were playing like the sympathy card. It made me feel like Notre Dame was being a big bully against Navy, against our troops. It was like, okay, we need the win, but like, quit it.
Hey, we're praying for them on Sundays as Catholics, okay? So it's not like we're being mean to them. We're praying for them.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service. Just when it comes to football, we're going to kind of run up the score on you.
Yeah, definitely. But no, it was good to see them win, and then we were watching the backups in there too, and it looks like it's a good, rotation of people playing. So hopefully they can continue that into Pitt. Tim, what did you think about Notre Dame last night?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like they struggled with the option, which they always do. Everybody does. I mean, that option is very hard to practice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I thought they kind of struggled with that. But, yeah, I mean, Carr had a great game. He was getting the ball down the field. Love and Price was still doing their thing. They were still getting the run. I actually stopped watching this after 35-10 because I didn't think – I knew that they were gonna be – they were just way too much. That run of not Price, Love, where they thought they had tackled him, and then he runs in for a touchdown right then and there. And that made it 28-10. I'm like, yeah, I was fixing a pizza, and I'm like, I'll eat this pizza, and if they get another score, I think I'll head to bed. And that's what I did. I mean, it was not – this was a great game for them, a good game to show to the committee, because I'm going to tell you right now, next week at Pitt is going to be tough because that Pitt team is very good.
And I got one last thing. I'm sorry. I started bringing it up, but I didn't say it. We want to talk about strength of schedule and stuff like that. Who's Ohio State playing? And they're number 1. Who's Indiana playing? Notre Dame, yes, they lost to 2 ranked teams, Miami and Texas A&M, by 4 points. And then they beat a ranked USC team. They're going to play a Pitt team that, if they could beat, which should be ranked after what this week looks like, their strength of schedule is what it is. They're trying to schedule teams, and teams don't want to play them. USC, right? They don't want to play them because of that stuff. So I just think when we talk about Notre Dame, their strength of schedule shouldn't be what goes against them. It's how they play in this, and that was a great little game to kind of finish up their pledge to being in the committee.
Yeah,
I agree.
most definitely. Well, there was a couple of other good games that were happening, so I'm just going to run through a couple honorable mentions. The Texas Tech beating up BYU. That was a really good game. And then I also had the Texas A&M beating Missouri. That was a fun game to watch too.
Definitely, sure.
Yeah, definitely. So as we move on to the NFL, I wanted to get you guys' take on how fantasy is going. Anthony, how's fantasy?
Oh, yeah. It's just going great. Just dandy. No, it's not. I'm getting bent over right now, okay? Wherever the barrel is, my arms are on it, and fantasy gods are saying, what's up? If you're on my team right now, you need to get your head out of your ass, Because right now, I have nobody that's scoring touchdowns, and that's how you win fantasy in all reality. I don't care how many catches you get, how many yards you get. I need 6 points. I need the touchdowns. And, I want to take accountability for this. But it's on the players. I got you guys in a great position. You got to start playing better. I will be reevaluating this team going forward. So if you are on my team, you might be packing your bags because you might be jumping off this fantasy team. I will say I had a 1% chance by the time the 3 o'clock game started today. Didn't help that Bo Nix and Sutton didn't do shit on Thursday night. And then the guy I played against had Jonathan Taylor, who decided to score 50 points on Sunday morning at 8:30 in the morning. Who does that? That's like taking a Bloody Mary to the face right off the morning. Yeah, not good for me. I'm going to lose again. This is, I think, 4 in a row, possibly 5 in a row. It's not good. We got to change some things around.
Yeah, well, and especially with the international games, we'll talk about it later. That is rare to come by.
Yeah.
Tim, how's your fantasy going?
I'm up by 28, but he's still got Barkley to do. He's got some players still to be playing. Yeah. And like you said, I didn't. My biggest one is I had 2 players on my bench that I should have been playing, but I didn't know. They were playing against good defense too. So it's like, do you set them? The one hasn't performed in about a month, if not all this season. So I've been leaving him on Jerry Jeudy. I've been leaving him on my bench. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see how after these afternoon games go. He's still got Barkley on Monday night. I think he's got the kicker tonight for I want to say San Diego, the Chargers. I still have the running back for the Chargers. So we'll see. I got 79 points. I'm 5-4. I'm hanging. I might finish 7-7 this year and still make the playoffs. Whether I'm not gonna win it. There's no way. My team's not that good. My team's average.
Yeah. Well, and you've been dealing with injuries all season, so
yeah. I got three people on my bench for in the IR. So
yeah, definitely. Well, let's move on to our games. Tim, I believe you had a Thursday night game you wanted to talk about.
Oh boy, boys. You're 8-2. You should be about 3-7 if you didn't have a great defense. I'm telling you right now. First thing I want to say about this, and we've talked about this before, Roger Goodell, stop playing these Thursday night games. That is not good material. It is garbage, hot garbage. You've seen it this Thursday. You see it every Thursday, but this Thursday was horrific. It was horrific. So let's just talk about the Raiders. Too many penalties. 3 things. Too many penalties, dropped passes, and missing field goals at the end could have tied the game. The open drive you went down and scored 7-0. Genty was rolling, and then the Raiders had, they had penalties. One called back for holding. One, you guys can't do that if you're going to do that on the road. Geno Smith, 6 sacks. You got better protection on him. I mean, it's just Brock Bowers, 0 targets. You mean to tell me he can't get open?
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, that defense is good, but come on. For the Broncos, survive in advance, baby. Survive in advance, just like the March Madness. Survive in advance. 8-2. You're tied with the Colts and the Patriots for the top spot. So the offense is atrocious. Next, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's not opening the plays up for him or what's going on. But he's not good. I mean, he threw 2 interceptions, including one right before half. He only had 150 yards passing. The Denver crowd was starting to boo him at sometimes, and he at post game said, "You deserve to boo me. If you can only score 10 points in a game, you deserve to boo this team, or at least boo me, because I'm telling you right now, I'm playing like hot garbage. They got to play better. I mean, their defense is keeping them around, and guess who they play next week after a mini bye?
Kansas City.
The Chiefs. And you know what Andy Reid's like after a bye? Yep. He's got a pretty damn good record. They better play better.
Yeah, well, I know Anthony's got Bo Nix on his roster, and I was telling him, like, Thursday nights are notorious for being, like, at least for him, a low-scoring game. Like, and I was, like suggesting, like, are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Anthony,
I had their defense, the Broncos defense, 8 points. I had Sutton. I think he had 3 or 4. And the kicker, who had 4. That's it. I had 14 points. That's it for 3 players. That's not good.
Yeah, definitely. Anthony, how did it look for you?
Yeah, I'm going to start off with sounding like Lisa right off the bat. I love the jerseys. I love
do
when
too.
Denver
I did.
does that blue. I love the
The
logo
orange.
in your background. I love that. They should never go away from that. It's so clean. It's so good. Denver, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? And I saw so many hot takes on Friday being like, Denver needs to go get a quarterback because Bo Nix is not the guy. It's not working there. You have Harvey in the backfield. You have Sutton. You have Troy Franklin. You have these options. They're just not getting the ball at the right times. He's throwing behind people. I mean, I saw one play where he goes to check it down to Harvey, and he damn near throws it at his laces. It's like, what are you talking? That's your easy throw, and you didn't get it. I also look at the other side of the Raiders. They do have a good defense with Max Crosby when he's playing and stuff like that. You have to utilize multiple offensive linemen to slow him down, or a tight end, or another running back, whatever, to chip him. When you looked at that Thursday night game, it was like, this is what we're putting as a primetime game? Yeah. Stop. Like, these conference games like those, division games like that, they are huge when it comes to the end of the season. Don't put them on a Thursday night when it's on a shortened week. Put them on a Sunday night, Monday night, whatever.
Yeah.
They deserve a little bit more respect. But yeah, this one was tough. I don't think anyone did well in fantasy that night. Like, defenses might have did the best, but in all reality, nobody did well. It was a poor showing for the NFL for a Thursday night. Amazon, I'd be pissed if I was Amazon.
Okay, Anthony, well, why don't you take us into your must-watch? I believe you picked the first one this morning in Germany.
Yes, so we started out 8:30 this morning in Germany. Pretty cool little atmosphere. The stadium was actually very cool to see. Right down the middle, it was like wide open to see. Colts jumped out to a 13-7 lead, but then the Falcons would take the lead before half, going 14-13. But then Jonathan Taylor woke up with an 83-yard run to put the Colts up 22-17, looking like a win. Colts are going to win again. Falcons come back to get the lead. Colts kick a field goal to send it in overtime. Jonathan Taylor would go to get his third rushing touchdown. Another time that he's done this year where he would score in overtime for a win. Germany, you are welcome, because that was a great game. Usually these international games are not that good. This was a good game. Even Atlanta played pretty well in this game. Colts looked good in this game as well. But what I think the biggest takeaway from this game is, I would love to argue with someone about why Jonathan Taylor should not be the MVP. Jonathan Taylor just locked it up today. I mean, what are we talking about? This is an Adrian Peterson type of year. This is what those years that people were like, do you remember when Chris Johnson ran for 2,000 yards? Jonathan Taylor is just being a tank. If you have him on fantasy, good for you, because I had him in the past and he sucked. But this year, he is awesome. This was a great game. Start us off. It didn't help me in fantasy, but it was great to watch as a football fan.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and everyone's wondering, I know, did Lisa wake up in time for the game? Yes. Yep. Did I have somewhere to be in the morning? Yes. But I was there for kickoff.
Yeah. You were like, holy shit, I'm watching this. And I'm like, yeah, this is crazy. And I already had a cup of coffee ready for you, everything. I was like, you're up. You're going to watch this game for a little bit.
So, no, it was a good game, definitely. And I will say, I'll boast you a little bit. You saw the future just too soon. You knew he was going to be a great player, just not at the time that you picked him.
Yeah, I won't even take credit for that. It's just Jonathan Taylor's just going off this year. He's the MVP right now.
Well, Tim, what did you think about this game?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Jonathan Taylor is a stud. I think he's been ravaged with injuries. That's why he hasn't been playing very well the last couple of years. Their offensive line is stacked. I think that coach has got them playing really well, makes Daniel Jones a lot bit better.
Yeah.
For Atlanta, God, that's a tough loss. That is a tough loss. You had them right where you wanted them. They've got a good core of Penix, London, Pitts, and Bijan. I mean, their defense, that's the deal. They just can't get the defense right. But they got a great offense. Yeah, it was a great game to watch for a Sunday morning. So
yeah.
And I'll say this too real quick just about that game. You're saying that's a young group. Like Kyle Pitts is kind of a little bit older, but Drake London and Bijan and Penix, they're all young. So there's going to be times where they're inconsistent. That's okay. But when you see a game like this, you're like, if I'm Atlanta, I'm like, yo, we might have a team. Because you can find defense off the free agency. You can't find the star players like you do. You got to draft those players.
They're just inconsistent right now. They
Yeah.
win one, they lose one. They win one, kind of like the Panthers. They win one, they lose one. They win one, they lose one. They just can't get that consistency yet. But which they will because they're young enough.
Yep.
Well, it's exciting to see, and we'll see what next week brings for them. But Tim, why don't you take us into your second takeaway from this Sunday?
Giants Bears. Oh, if you're a Bears fan, boy, I tell you, I sent a little meme to one of my friends, and like this will make you laugh a little bit because right now, the way the game was going, it was not good. They were down by 10 for the Giants. They came apart after Dart's concussion. I mean, they brought in Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is not a backup quarterback. Russell, go with Sierra. Go do what you need to go do. Retire. Get out. You got no more. You're not a backup quarterback because it showed in the fourth quarter. That Bears defense made him look like he was like 90 years old back there in the backfield. Should be Jameis Winston. At least you'll see some exciting plays and maybe a little bit of laugh when he's on the giggling, whatever. Wilson only completed 3 passes for 46 yards. He couldn't move the team in the fourth quarter. They did have that one drive, but they ended up selling for a field goal. They probably should have went for it.
Yeah.
The punter. Oh, he didn't even give they're going to give him a bus ticket back to New York. 2 bad punts. You had penalties where you kicked it out of the end zone, or not the end zone, but to the sideline. Yeah, that wasn't good. For the Bears, you rallied from 10 points down. You came back again this week. In the final segment, great. Making the play, Caleb was making the plays with his legs, with his arm, throwing the ball down the field to Level and Oduze. The defense stepped up, made some strong plays in the fourth quarter. Of course, when you got old man Wilson back there, kind of like, what was that movie, Old Man Wilson? What was that?
I have no clue.
What's the kid?
What are you saying? Wilson,
with the kid. With the kid, he was saying, Mr. Wilson. Okay, anyway. I think this game's totally different. Like I said, I think this game was totally different if Dart was still playing. But they've got to figure out about Dart because he can't. He's in the medical tent every week, at least once. They've got to figure out. Somebody in the coaches is going to say, okay, let's stop this because you're going to ruin this kid.
Yeah, definitely. He's got a lot of potential in him, and we can't spend it all right now. Yeah, another fragile quarterback. Anthony, take me to your thoughts about this game.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway from this game, like you said, Caleb Williams stepped up at the end, right? That run in for when it was a bootleg, running into the end zone, that's what you wanted when you drafted Caleb Williams. Yep. I won't know. I'm not going to say it's going to be Ben Johnson the reason. I'm not going to say it's Caleb Williams. That's what you needed to win that game. It was a great win by the Bears because that's kind of how they won the week before. They came back in the fourth quarter as well. On the other side of it, New York, I hope you enjoyed the Cam Scatterboo and all that situation because these guys can't stay healthy. I mean, obviously, Cam Scatterboo has a huge injury that we will see what the long-term repercussions of that is now. But like Jackson Dart, he had a lot of concussions in college. He's getting concussions almost every other week, it feels like, in the NFL. He's got to slide more. He's got to throw the ball out of bounds. You got to survive to play the game longer than just today. I get it. You're young and you're fearless and all that. But to be a long-term quarterback, look at Tom Brady. He took a couple hits and he was like, oh, whoa. Ain't going to do that anymore. I do. I think the Bears won this game based on just pure grit at the end of the game. Just refuse to lose. It's a mentality thing. And you know what, Bears fans? I said it might take time for Ben Johnson to bring his culture into the Bears. I think this is a little sample of what Ben Johnson's culture is going to be like. We will not, the game's not over until it's over. And we'll play to the end 2 weeks in a row where you've won in the fourth quarter. Those are huge for a new coach and a quarterback that's been struggling in the past years.
Don't make me quote the red zone there.
Where wins become losses and losses become wins.
There you go. All right. Well, let's go into our next takeaway. Anthony, what was your second takeaway?
Yeah, so it wasn't that long ago. Dolphin fans were chanting, "Fire Mike Daniels," and all this stuff. And it was a dumpster fire in Miami. Oh, wait. Then Buffalo comes into Miami, and man, does Mike look good now. Mike today probably woke up and said, "Not today, Satan." I assume, because that's what it happened. They dominated the Bills today, 30-13. The Bills look so flat on that offense. Awful. Josh Allen today with an interception and a fumble in this game. The Dolphins haven't beat them in like 6 times that they've played each other, and this is the first time they've won. This is a huge win for Miami. Achane dominating this game with 225 scrimmage yards, while the defense for Miami was the biggest takeaway in this game. 3 turnovers, 3 sacks on Josh Allen. That one that Chubb had where he jumped on his back and just fell on him, because that's what you got to do to tackle Josh Allen. I think when you look at this, Bills did not convert a first down until the third quarter.
Boom. It's not good.
A first down. 10 yards, boys. 10 yards. You couldn't get that until the third quarter. I think the Bills should be out of the top 5 ranking. I don't think they are that team that people should worry about, because New England is just sitting there smiling, saying, hey, you guys pay attention to the Bills over here. Because the New England is just dominating teams, beating Tampa Bay today as well. Not dominating them, but beating Tampa Bay. I think Patriots are a scary team. At the other side of it, Bills, if you do get in the playoffs, you're going to be on the road. And I don't trust you guys on the road. You saw today what they looked like in Miami. This was a bad loss for the Bills. Bills Mafia, it's okay. You could jump through your tables and stuff like that, but this team is not the team that we remember.
Yeah, they're definitely playing tug of war. They had a great game against Kansas City, and then they played like this today. So it's 2 totally different spectrums, and they got to stay consistent and hopefully consistently good.
Well, and one last thing, James Cook, not even utilized today. I know he had a fumble and all that, not utilized. Oh, wait, did they lose? Yes. Every single time. If they win, it's because he's utilized. If they lose, it's because he's not. I don't understand that.
Anthony, do you have him on fantasy?
I do, but it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Like,
I'm just curious. A friend of mine wanted to know that, but I was just curious. Yeah.
I do, but at the same time, you do see it.
Friend.
It does look. It's like it's scary how much when they don't utilize and they use that Johnson and it's just today it felt like they were 2 steps behind. It just is so sloppy of a game, and Josh Allen did too much today, and that's what caused all this problem. So,
well, Tim, what did you think about this game?
I think this was your typical letdown game after the Chiefs game.
Yeah.
You've seen it coming. And you go down to Miami. It's a little bit warmer down there than what we're all used to. A little hotter, and it was a letdown game. It was. And do we think now that this team Miami is 2-0 since they fired their GM? Ooh. A lot of rumblings going around that it's the GM, because they're thinking about keeping McDaniels for next year. They really are. And just going after getting a new GM and keeping McDaniel. That's the rumor going around right now. So I can't believe the GM is the problem when he's not even on the field.
Right.
And McDaniel's the one that's on the field. The GM's up in the press box. So, or up in the owner's box. So I can't believe that's it. But it's starting to look like, and Achane played great today. You still don't have Tyreek Hill. Jaden Waddle even came alive. Tua looked really good. The team is just now starting to rally around their coach.
Yep.
I can't believe that, but yeah. So it was. And it looked like Buffalo was sleepwalking. I think it was your typical letdown game after a big game at home against Kansas City. They better rebound, because you don't want to get too far behind New England, because it doesn't look like New England's going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, and Baltimore's coming back. So
exactly.
Big win today with Minnesota. Watch out for them. There's a lot of football left to be played.
Exactly.
Well, and like we said earlier, we are recording a little bit earlier, so the evening games are still going on today, but there was a couple more honorable mentions I wanted to pick out of the group today. The Texans coming back to beat the Jags was really impressive, and we teased it a little bit earlier, but the Patriots beating Tampa on a tough matchup was key for them. So definitely teams to look out for the weeks ahead. Now, I'm going to transition over to the results of Tim's best bets. How did we do? Did we get to keep our name this week?
Yeah, I think we're going to. I went 2-1. We still got the Monday night game of the Eagles and Packers, but the one game that I thought the sneaky game was FIU in the middle. Yeah, they got smoked by almost 30.
Yeah.
So that was not much of a game. FIU just killed them and it was not good. But Alabama did win by more than 9, by more than 10. And the Jets won today.
Yep.
Because they beat the Browns. So
yeah,
everybody's beating the Browns. So
and the Browns did everything they could to just let them win by false start and all that stuff. All crazy. Yeah. Well, that is episode 158. Just to end this real quick, The afternoon games, evening games, all blowouts, 20-some point games, so no worries about that one. But we did talk about college football, the key takeaways from those, all those games that we had on Saturday, and then the key takeaways on Sunday as well. We finished with Tim's best bets. We'll have to come back on Wednesday to find out what Monday night's game result was, because a 3-1 week would be a solid week. Who did you have for that last game?
I have the Eagles getting I think Eagles
2.5, I think.
2.5, and I'll take the 2.5. I'm getting 2.5.
Yeah. So might want to look at that one before the Monday night game happens. If you like what we do, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, as we'll be posting all of our clips on there. Have a great start to your week, and we will talk to you on Wednesday.